Hello again there, Star Wars The Clone Wars action figure collectors, fans, and customizers. This is another Star Wars The Clone Wars custom figure review. One thing I want to talk about before I start talking about my figure, I just want to mention briefly, is that there's a great website online. I put a bulletin about it on my YouTube account, and the website is called imperialshipyards.net. And if you're into Star Wars figure collecting and customizing, you definitely want to go there and check it out. Even if you don't sign up, you can look at all the great work that is done there. Some of the customizers on there that have inspired me are a man named Wraith9. He's a really awesome Clone Wars customizer. Another one that inspires me on there is a customizer named Clonehead. He does a really cool thing where he takes Clone Wars figure designs and makes them into legacy versions, and does some great work. Very, very steady hand, lots of detail. But most of all, I think the customizer that has inspired me the most is my buddy Vader 9900. He's taught me a lot of tricks and kind of got me started on the whole customizing thing, so I definitely want to thank him for all the advice that he's offered me and continues to offer me to this day. Alright, so this here is a custom Commander Fox figure, and the reason why I made a custom Commander Fox is because I actually missed out on the opportunity to get the Target exclusive Commander Fox figure when he was out, because when he came out, I was not collecting Clone Wars figures, and in fact at that time had planned to never collect Clone Wars figures. But my buddy that I mentioned previously, Vader 9900, kind of showed me how cool they were, and got me into lots of trouble financially by showing me how cool they are and getting me into collecting them. So anyhow, what I did was, since I didn't want to spend $40 to $60 for a Commander Fox figure online, I just decided it would be really easy to make a custom. And I was half right. What I did here to make this figure was basically I bought a Commander Cody and a Captain Rex. And I did that over the summer when all the figures were priced pretty much at $5, so it was cheap. So from the body is basically full on Commander or Captain Rex, and then the head and helmet are Commander Cody. And I actually, if you watched my video on Commander Phil, the way that I mixed the color, I took a Citadel Blood Red paint, added a dab of black to it, mixed it around to mix this kind of like dark blood red color here. And then I set about to painting him. I'm going to give you some close-ups of the detail work here. I wasn't quite able to achieve the very, very thin detail here in the top, but if you've seen earlier designs of the Galactic Senate symbol, which is what Fox has here on his chest, it actually has that, and then later on they added the little thinner lines in there. This was actually one of my very early Clone Wars customs, and this one gave me a lot of fits. It was not easy to do. Now I probably could execute that thing no problem. I've learned a lot of tricks to steadying my hand now, but as you can see, this one's pretty good. And the last thing that I want to talk about on him is I have weathered him. That's why he kind of looks all scraped up and dirty. Obviously, scraping up is easy. You just get an X-Acto knife and kind of go in and pick the spots that you think would be, or if you've noticed on the show or the artwork that you've seen, would be kind of scraped up. They're kind of similar areas, shoulder pads here, a little bit on the gauntlet, some on the chest, edges of the helmet would be kind of scraped up and stuff, and did that. And then for weathering the body and giving it this dirty look here that you see all the clones pretty much have in this series, what I do for that is I get a set of pastels, and I take black and an X-Acto knife and I kind of shave it off into a powder, and I'll show you what that looks like. I just get a plate like this, and I shave it, and it becomes a powder like that. And then I get a real stiff bristle brush. It needs to be stiff, and I kind of just get it in the paint, and I just kind of jam it into them like that. And no, it doesn't come off. A little bit might come off, but it actually kind of soaks into the figure. One thing you do have to be a little bit careful of is making sure you don't get your fingerprints on the figure. So a good trick to do when you're doing that is maybe hold it with a paper towel or something so you don't get fingerprints on it. If you're agile enough, though, you can do it without having to do that and still do a pretty good job. So anyhow, that's a little tip for you there if you want to start customizing your figures, making them a little bit more cartoon accurate or screen accurate, I guess. That's going to do it for this review, and until next time, may the force be with you. Bye-bye.